The clothes makes us an essential part of our daily life. Clothes protect us from the hard weather climates. So it is essential to learn about it. Today, Praveen Choudhary is here to discuss about the synthetic fibers and plastics. So what is a synthetic fiber? A synthetic fiber is obtained from a chemical processes. Before the synthetic fibers, we use the natural fibers. In the previous classes, we have learned the natural fibers, their properties, and how the clothes are made from these. So let's revise the what we have learned in the previous grades. So first, to learn the basics, we have to remember three terms. These are fabrics, yarn, and fibers. So what is the fibers? A fiber is a small unit that comes out when the something source is not refined. So if a cotton ball has some kinds of wrinkles, this is known as fiber. When the fiber is twisted to form the thread-like structures, this is called yarn. And when the yarns are weaved in a crisscross method to form fabrics, we call it clothes. So, natural fibers. Natural fibers are of two types because nature includes, that is, plants and animals. So there are two types of the plant based fabrics. That first, that is cotton, and second is jute. There are mainly two types, but if we go further, there are many more, just as choir, jute, that is the example like that way. Now let's move to the animal. It can be taken as wool and silk. So first let's revise the what we have learned about the cotton in the previous grade. So cotton is obtained from a cotton plant which is mostly grown in a black soil because it requires a black soil to grow. Or the nutrients present in the black soils are suitable for the cotton to grow. So what happens after the cotton is grown? It forms a fruit-like structure. So if it is a fruit-like structure, it have the opening creates that is connected to a leaf. So when the cotton in this ripes or it started expanding, this forms the crater in these sharp scales which open them, and now the cotton is ready to harvest. After the cotton is ready to harvest, it has the seeds inside. This is separated by the process of ginning. The ginning is the process in which the high pressurized air is pressed through this to remove the seeds. After this, the cotton fibers are squeezed to form yarns, and then it is weaved to form the fabrics. In a jute fiber, a jute is obtained from the stem of the plant. Stem of the plant in which, so the stem, if you have noticed, so stems are the bundles, so which are tightly packed and they have the resin inside this. So to decrease or to remove the resin inside the stem of the plant, it is first soaked in the water to remove all the resin, and then it is collected these fibers, and then the same process of the cotton goes here. Then these are first twisted to form the yarns, then they are painted to form the different types of yarns, and then they are used to make the different types of jute bags, granny bags, etc. So the common is in both the plant based products that it is made up of the cellulose, because cellulose is found only in plants, and that makes the plant stiff. So now let's move to the animal fibers. So animal fibers, we are going to discuss about the wool and the silk. So first let's start with the wool. A wool is obtained from the variety of animals such as camels, yaks, sheep, etc. So what is the wool? The wool is shear. The wool is the hair that is present on the animal. Mostly that is surviving in a winter conditions to protect them from the heat. So first we have to remove the hair from the sheep. So first this process is known as shearing. After shearing, we sort these fibers according to our needs to form different types of variety of the objects such as carpets, different types of woolen sweaters, etc. And then it is the process of same. The first it is dyed and then twisted and into yarns and then formed into the fabrics. Silkworm. A silk is obtained from a silk cocoon in which all of them they do not harm the plant or their animal. So, but what happens in a silk that comes from a cost of a life. So, there is it is obtained from the silkworm. So silkworm first has a stage of caterpillar and then it stage moves to the silk moth. Before between these stages, a stage comes a cocoon. So first, to move to the caterpillar, we have the female silk moth laying the eggs on which the caterpillars are obtained. These are fed on the different types of leaves to give the different types of silk. For example, mulberry silk produces the mulberry leaves produces the mulberry silk, which is the finest among them. And so after this silkworm has feed, it started making the cocoon of itself. So now what happens, this has a fiber wrapped inside it. We have to unroll these fibers, so we dip them into the hot water, killing the fiber, killing the silkworm and obtaining the fiber. And then it is same process goes on, then we twist it to form yarns and then into fabrics. So this is how, so these animal fibers are rich in keratin, which is found in our hairs and hairs of some animals in the silk. It is the from its mouth. So now let's move to the synthetic fibers. So what are the synthetic fibers? The synthetic fibers are the fibers that are obtained from chemical processes. These are mostly classified as a polymer. So what is a polymer? A polymer is a substance that is made up of this chemical reactions and it is known as man-made fibers. So polymers are of two types. These are plastics and synthetic fibers. So we have discussed that it is made, both are classified as a polymer. But what exactly is a polymer? A polymer comes from a Greek word which means, in this a poly means many and mer means units. So it is nothing but the mixture that it contains many units. And so what is a polymer? A polymer is polymer is obtained from the monomers or the group of monomers form the polymers. So monomers are the basic units of the polymers. And the conversion of the monomers into the polymers is known as polymerization. It means that the conversion of the monomers into the long branch chains to form the synthetic fibers or plastic. So this was the how they are synthetic fibers. Now what is the composition? They have the monomers. They have arranged in the different types of the formats to give the raise to the different types of the synthetic fibers and plastics. So mainly they are classified into the three types. So these are polymers, form different three types of the patterns. So first pattern is called a linear pattern. It includes a polymer is connected with chain line reaction to form the linear polymers, and it has many types of chains, and this makes a polymer, linear polymers. And the another type is branched polymers, in which we have a polymers, but from these polymers these are attached to the another polymers and they form the intricate patterns. This is known as a branch. branched polymers, and now we have the cross polymers. It includes making of the a rectangular pattern in which the intersections is the polymers. In this phase and in the same way, all the points of the cross section are made of the polymers. So what are the three difference in these? That in the first one they are the linear, so they have a weak patterns in that, so they could be compressed easily or they are elastic type. But in the second bit they are the middle part of the cross polymers and the linear polymers, and the stiff one among is called the cross polymers. So now we have learned about the polymers, but now let's learn about the different types of the polymers, or the in which we are going to learn about different types of the synthetic fibers. So first one is nylon. The nylon is made from the coal tar and the wood. It is known as the regenerated fiber. So what are the different qualities of the polymer nylon? Is that first it is the wrinkle proof. That means it do not fold easily, and it is a moth resistance. So it is used to make the and elastic too. It is used to make ropes and mostly hiking things, objects such as the bags and that all. And in the area first, when the first nylon was discovered, it was used in the production of this socks, which is made from the nylon plus adding some amount of the cotton. The elasticity of the socks comes from the nylon, and it is also used to make the toothbrushes. Now the next is the rayon. The rayon is called the that is the synthetic silk, because it has the same properties such as the rayon. So what is the rayon? Properties of the rayon. The rayon is have a silk, and it is a strong fiber, and it is used to make the clothes such as sarees, shirts, and mostly it is used in the terracotta industries, and it is used in the terracotta industries and making the carpets. And you may notice that a cap, which is also stiff, comes from the rayon. Now let's move to the polyester. So polyester, we can break the term poly. It comes from the poly, and it is made from the esters. So it is made from the esters. So now polyester are used to make a variety of shirts. This depends upon adding the wool and this cotton. So if we have a poly and we add polyester and we have cotton to it, we get a polycot. That is polycot, that is a mixture of the poly and the cotton. That is polyester plus cotton. If we add the polyester plus wool, we got polywool. Polywool, and the polyesters are of a main variety of this. Most famous among these is the terraline. So these fibers are lightweight, so they are used to make the pet bottles and the sails for the clothes. They are also used to make the shirts and the sari. So now let's move to the acrylic. Sorry, it's pronounced as acrylic. So acrylic is a tanks for the used in the winters, because it is a mixture of made from the air. If anything has to be called acrylic, it should be made from the 85% of the acrylonitrate. So this is mostly used in the winters. With adding some wool, they form the different types of the cotton, that is sweaters, which is lighter than compared with the original wool, and these protects from the cold weather climates. And now let's move to the spandex. Spandex is used to make it is the properties of is that it is elastic and it do not absorb sweat. So it is used to make the shorts, leggings, etc. So we have compared, uh, we have seen the synthetic fibers, but it has some advantages and disadvantages. So let's see it. So here we are writing that is plus points, that is advantages, and here we have minus points, that is disadvantages. So first, the plus points of the synthetic fiber is that it is first wrinkle proof. So it is wrinkleless. So it do not wrinkle easily. So this causes them to last for a longer duration of time. They are also strong, as we see in the cases of the rayon and nylon. Then strong, it is elastic compared to the natural fibers. They are more elastic and they are strong. If you will take equally amount of the steel wire, they would be equally strong as the synthetic fibers. And one more property is that they do not get or catch fire. They do not catch fire. That is fire resistant. Fire resistant. And the minus points of these are that they do not absorb salt. So they do not absorb water. They do not absorb water and they are not used, and they provide sometimes they are not that much of the comfortable to our skin. Should it provided the energy to the someone and provided rashes to the person. So these are the advantages and the disadvantages of the synthetic fibers. Now let's move to the plastic. As we have discussed earlier, the plastic is also a type of a polymer. So it is made from the different types of the. So what are the different types of the plastics that we use in the daily lives? They are mainly classified into the two types, which is thermosetting plastics and thermoplastics. So what are the difference between these? So these are categorized different on based among the shape they change when the heat is added to it. So when the heat is added to it, the thermoplastics that is loses its shape easily, and they can be used to mold or form different types of the things. But it is opposite case in the thermosetting plastics. These are opposite. They do not lose their shape easily, and so it is hard to mold. So the examples of the thermosetting plastics are melamine and bakelite, but the examples of the thermoplastics are PVC, that is PVC and polythene. So now let's move to the properties of the plastics. So the properties of the plastic is, first, it is not soluble in water. So it is not soluble in water, so we can use to store the liquid materials and the solid materials. So in the contact with the water, it do not get anything, or it is not dissolved. And the second is reactivity. You have may noticed that acids are stored in a glass or a plastic substances. Why? Why? Because rest of the substances are very reactive to it, and the glass is so bulky and heavy to carry it. So mostly the plastics are used for storing these substances, so they do not react easily with another substances. So the plastic has one more quality, that is that it do not react with the most of the things. And now we have the effect of the flame. As we know, it some plastics molds easily and some plastic do not mold easily. Based on this, we have provided the different types of the plastics. Now conductivity. So conductivity means if a substance could conduct something or not. Mostly we have the two types of conductivity, that is thermal. It stands for the heat, and as the word electric suggests, is for the electricity. So thermal and electrical. Most thermoplastics are conductible through the both of them. Plastics are not conductive neither to the thermostatic plastics, thermal, and neither to the electricity. But the hardest which provides the resistance to them is the thermostatic plastics. The melamine that is used to make the thermal, that is the cooking utensils or the base of the cooking utensils, so they do not let the heat to pass through them, so heat is not transferred to the handle, so it is used to make the thermal setting made from the bakelite. But in the electrical it is made from the bakelite. That means the plugs and the switches are made from the bakelite. It do not means they are using bake for, that means it is used in kitchen. They are usually stored make to make the electrical insulating things. So now using of the plastics causes pollution. As we know that if the plastics are not biodegradable, that means that they cannot be degraded by putting in the soil. So what we do, we can either burn this. The burning of the plastic causes air pollution, so it is bad for it. Or either we will throw it. If a cow or a dog would eat it, it will make him clog. And if we will throw in the water bodies, it will make the water pollution. So the effective way of reducing the pollution of the plastic is that we should first avoid using the plastics as we can. The second is we have the two different types of the dustbins to that put the dustbin in first, which is made from the green dustbin. So it is used to put the biodegradable things such as the sticks, leaves, paper, etc. But a substance of the blue bin comes, which is used that is used to put the non-biodegradable substances such as plastics, batteries, etc. so that they could be recycled again for the further use. And the best way to recycle the to use the plastic is the 4R. That means reduce, reuse, recycle, and that is reuse, recycle, and that. So let's summarize what we have learned today. So first we learned about the synthetic natural fibers, that is cotton, wool, jute, and silk. Then we started learning what is the synthetic fibers and what are they made up of. Then the types of the synthetic fibers, that is nylon, rayon, polyester, acrylic, spandex. And then we learned about the plastics and the types of plastic which are thermostatic and the thermoplastics, and we learn about the properties of the plastics, which is solubility and non-solubility in water, reactivity, effect of the flame, conductivity of the thermal and electrical, and then we learn about the pollution. So friends, I hope that the synthetic fibers and the plastics are clear to you, and at the last, thanks for watching.